Happy New Year, everyone. We can't say a proper hello to 2014 without a fond farewell to 2013 on the best of About Town. 2013 was quite a year for Irving. New events enhanced our community life, old friends returned to share their talents again, and Irving arts groups expanded our cultural horizons. Sounds like a good reason to celebrate, so we'll start with a look at one of the hottest events to return to Irving, Zest Fest.
You think you've tried the spiciest foods around? Well, here at Zest Fest, people from all over are here to prove that they've got the hottest recipe in town.
It's hot. I don't mess around here.
Tons of vendors came out to Zest Fest this year, hoping to share their sauces and whatever else they could make spicy for everyone at the Irving Convention Center.
Well, we're a producer. We're from Georgia. We come here to Zest Fest to kind of showcase our products here. We have salsas, barbecue sauces, and we have our prize winner from the judging last night, our Hellfire Pickles, which is a sweet pickle that the brine has been replaced with habanero hot sauce. And then we have over 35 different hot sauces that range from about the heat level of Heinz 57 all the way up to as hot as you want.
And the name came from my dad's name and from the Butch T. Scorpion. So it's not made from scorpion pepper because that scorpion pepper is very hot. And we want everyone to, the majority of our folks, consumers, to use a pepper that they can tolerate.
Just give you that little sting, but the sting goes away. So you can use it on just everything. Bloody Mary, breakfast, burritos, and everything. It just goes with just a variety of dishes. I mean, you know, the most bland dish, it brings out the flavor in the dish.
Come on a little sweet, then 4 or 5 seconds later you'll get some heat.
Sweet right now.
5 seconds later it'll get to you.
The heat just came. Every booth had amazing samples. So many people were getting their taste buds satisfied. How's it taste?
Strawberry.
Oh, that's a strawberry one?
Strawberry chili. Delicious.
Some people were on a mission to find the most mouth-burning hot sauce.
I need something hotter. I need something to make me feel like I'm going to pass out. That's what I'm here for.
That hasn't happened yet?
That hasn't happened yet.
But trying spicy sauces wasn't the only thing to do at Zest Fest. Besides having other food items like pickles, toasted almonds, and much more, there was different beverage samplings, a celebrity chef stage, and an atomic wing eating contest. And overall, people were just having fun.
I just love that there's so many different flavors here. You know, this isn't something you see every day, and for people like me, I love spicy. I love the hottest of the hot. I enjoy the pain. So to come here and be able to try all this different stuff and all these flavors, it's great.
The spice was definitely worth the heat. All the vendors brought out some delicious and incredibly hot sauces that didn't disappoint. For About Town, this is Susan Comyob reporting.
That was a very spicy kickoff to the year. So now for something sweet. The Irving Heritage Society's annual Valentine's Tea has a special place in the hearts of two well-known Irvingites. This year, we found out why.
The Irving Heritage House has a place in the hearts of many in the community.
It represents our city and the rich history that we've had in Irving.
And it's the birthplace of many of the city's most cherished traditions, like the annual Heritage Valentine's Tea. The event recreates the 1914 housewarming party, hosted by Mr. and Mrs. C.P. Schultz, down to the refreshments
I want one that's shaped like a heart.
and Valentine-themed decorations. But the gracious home has a place in former City Councilman James Dickens' heart for a very special reason.
I got to meet my future bride here.
In 2010, James was president of the Heritage Society and helping to host that year's tea.
It was my job to meet and greet and ask, questions of whether they lived in Irving or whether they were out of town or where they heard from it.
Marcia had never attended before, but a friend invited her to come out.
I had a very close friend, Diane Mannon, who invited me to the Valentine tea.
Well, there were several of people that came in the door, and Marcia just caught my eye.
It was very crowded in here, and I had gone along outside the outer rooms down the hallway because it was packed in there around the food table.
I noticed that she went back where we have all our photographs, some of the old photographs of the Schultz family, and she was very interested in those photos.
And then I see him coming down the other end, and I didn't know he was president. I just remembered knowing who he was.
So I just went up and talked to her and asked the questions that I normally asked. Are you from here? And all this, and so that kind of broke the ice.
I knew him from his political campaign, so I thought he was running for office. So I thought I had a politician approaching me.
Wanting her vote.
Wanting my vote. So I thought he was after me for my vote.
But a new political advocate isn't what James or Cupid had in mind. They started dating, and then
we went to a function for your church, somebody's birthday party.
Right.
We went that day, and then we were engaged by March 19th. So
yeah. Well, it was wonderful. It
was fun.
We had it at the Elks Lodge, and yeah,
it was lots of fun.
It was a lot of fun. There was a no frills. We were kind of a Gene type wedding, and my pastor, associate pastor, married us, and we had our closest friends. Well, you're single 29 and a half years, and you're thinking, I have no real interest in pursuing a serious relationship, and through God's grace, you meet the one, and there's no sense in going real slow after that, when it's when you know.
We're more than glad to have them there.
This year, Marcia is hosting the Valentine's tea with her real-life Valentine. And today, they have to reflect that day at the Heritage House almost didn't happen.
My father passed away 2008 on Valentine's Day. So that changed Valentine's Day for my family and myself. And so then it was a sad time. So we speed forward to 2 years in 2010 on the Valentine's Day tea that I was invited to. And I needed to get out of the house that day.
Even when she got there, she hesitated.
I got to the door 3 different times. On the 3rd time, I turned that knob and came to the tea.
But she walked through the door, and inside the Heritage House, she found her future.
If it's in your heart, pursue it. Don't be scared. The worst that's going to happen is no. There'll be a little pain, but the most beneficial thing that could happen in your life, the fulfillment, would be that you found someone like I found Marcia.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
The University of Dallas hosted the Regional Juried Ceramics Competition, which attracted some of the best new clay artists in the Southwest to Irving. Their 2013 show boasted an amazing variety of exceptional work. But see for yourself.
When you look at work this beautiful and intricate and functional and imaginative, it's a little hard to remember that it's all made from clay. But that's where it starts for ceramic artists, and one of the places they begin to hone their craft is right here.
Well, this little bitty school, this small University of Dallas, is number 5 in the nation in studio arts.
Professor Dan Hammett chairs the nationally recognized art department at the University of Dallas. For the past 7 years, the university has hosted ceramic artists from throughout the Southwest at their regional juried ceramics competition. It's not easy to earn a place in the exhibit.
Our process is to send out to neighboring states an invitation to show the best ceramics we can find. And generally there's about 300 to 400 entries, and the juror that we choose is supposed to choose down to 60. So it's quite a competition.
The job fell this year to juror Les Manning, internationally acclaimed ceramics artist and senior artist in residence at Medalta.
It is such a pleasure to have him here. He's a Canadian, so we need to watch him closely. But this wonderful person has really created an international community.
Manning selected each piece in the exhibit from submissions from some of the best ceramics artists in the Southwest.
This exhibit is showing 5 states that neighbor Texas. So you can imagine that there's going to be a variety of things that we have. There are some of the things that we have that are narrative. We have some sculptural things, we have functional things, and there are things that are imaginative. And there is a variety of techniques from high fire to low fire. I think it's a really good educational exhibit in the sense that it shows students and or patrons of the arts an example of what is the finest we have to offer in the Southwest.
Although the exhibit is an important showcase for artists to expose their work, and a very prestigious one to win, Hammett says the more important purpose is to invigorate that essential quality every artist must possess.
We're really trying to promote this creativity. For someone to see standard material, see this material for the first time that is not new to them, maybe, but it's information that they've had all their lives, and then suddenly they look at it in a creative way.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
The Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, or FCCLA, brought their annual convention to Irving last year. One of their events was a mystery bag competition that really got things cooking.
At the Heritage Senior Center, this ballroom has seen a lot of different kinds of events over the years, but this one takes the cake. Or maybe the carrot?
Actually, a cook-off. Mystery basket, they're calling it.
The mystery basket is provided by the Texas Beef Council.
The Beef Council's proud to be a sponsor and supporter of this, and so we provide them with a bag of mystery ingredients. One of them happens to be a beef item, a little tri-tip steak, as well as 3 other things that they'll use to make a plate.
It's kind of like Chopped on the Food Network, where they have limited time to cook ingredients, surprise ingredients.
That's a really tough contest, and the chefs involved are all still in high school. That's because they're all members of the FCCLA, the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. And this is part of their regional qualifying competition.
The students that do well here advance on to the state competition, and those that do well at the state competition then advance on to the national competition, which is held in the Midwest every year.
Winning at state and national gives an important edge to students for admission to college or culinary school and scholarships. But right now, the young chefs all have their eyes on finding out what's in that mystery bag.
It's a tri-tip steak, it's a little red pepper, orange, and an avocado. So they have to use those 4 ingredients today on their plate.
Once they open the bag, the competition starts, and they'll have to keep one eye on the clock. They have 30 minutes to plan their menus, using the items from the mystery bag and from the pantry, staples, fresh fruits, and veggies. When that half hour is up, the clock is reset and they start cooking. They have 1 hour to present their finished product.
Our judges today are from the Dallas area. We've got Chef Elizabeth, who is a personal chef from Frisco, works in Fort Worth, and then Chef Tina Andre as well, that are here representing the Chefs Association and helping the students out as judges today. So we appreciate their involvement, not only in the industry, but to support some of the new folks coming up wanting to be chefs.
The standards are rigorous. There are criteria for sanitation and safety, tools and technique, time management, and finally, presentation, appearance, serving temperature, and of course, taste. There are even points for use of garnish. The judges had their work cut out for them, and if the young chefs were nervous, you couldn't tell.
I'm nervous for them, but it really smells really good in here, so they're doing a good job, I think.
What they're learning to hear today in terms of that intensity and that pressure of the competition is just going to help them to be able to manage that as they move into their careers. And if they've got 200 folks at a restaurant and they got to service them in 45 minutes, then they understand that pressure. So I know the pressure is intense today. There's a lot of nervousness out there, but we know they're going to do a great job. Is smile, breathe, have fun, and cook some good food.
From the looks of it, that's exactly what they did. And all of the spectators, myself included, had just one question. Do you think we're going to get a bite?
I hope so, because it's smelling really good.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
Those young chefs really impressed us. Peter Arnell was likewise impressed with the young artists he met at the annual Irving ISD exhibition of student art.
There are a number of ways that children can express themselves. writing, singing, throwing tantrums, but there are a select number of middle school students who have found another way of expressing themselves, through art. Some of their works are here on display at the Irving Art Center.
We've got 8 middle schools in Irving ISD, so each one probably brought around 100 or so pieces, so we're looking at about 800 to 1,000 works of art.
With quite a few pieces of art to judge, how were those selected to make it to the show?
Generally by the teachers and other staff members at the school. I know myself, I sorted through all the projects that my kids had done all year, so I think I dug through about 2,000 works of art to kind of whittle it down, kind of show the breadth of work that we do. I think each teacher kind of tried to bring a mixture of mediums and just kind of the strongest work from their students.
I like how I can express myself through art, and I just be so creative with it.
I like how you can put all these colors, inspirations and everything, what you like in it.
Well, I like expressing my feelings with the art because it actually is the only way I can write and draw everything on my feelings that I want to do. I love art.
Art is amazing. You can express yourself in so many different ways. It's not even funny.
You can see, a drive and a little extra kind of spark in them when they're working on their projects, and especially tonight, them seeing their works hanging on the wall in the gallery. I think this will inspire them to go a little bit further too.
Since kindergarten, my artwork has been displayed in the art exhibit, and I feel proud, and I feel like I'm doing good, and it makes me feel good.
Most of the time when I have spare time, I do draw stuff like that because it's fun. I get to draw whatever I want. I can make it look like myself.
I usually do it when I'm supposed, when I don't have anything else to do. When I'm bored, I usually draw or paint.
I like to draw a lot of how my feelings are each day. Like if I'm mad, I'll draw something mad, just putting whatever color in it. If I'm happy, I'll just draw something.
I'll maybe try and recreate something that I did in art class, or maybe try to see how I can make it better, make it my own.
And then there are some who don't even know their talent.
They need a push. They're still pretty young, and so they need a push, and they come around in kind of their own time, and it's fun to see them kind of finally get it every now and then and start to really enjoy it.
It's inspiring, and it can really help you have creative ideas and inspire people to do what they want to draw, that comes up in their imagination.
It's always good to see how our children express themselves, and some of these children express themselves very well in art. At the Irving Art Center, I'm Peter Arnell.
One of the most fascinating people we met last year was violinist Miguel Guzman. Peter Arnell brought us this profile of the talented young musician.
The French horn. I played it when I was in high school, the back row. Some of you probably played while you were a high school student and didn't even think about a career in music. But there is a student at MacArthur High School in the Irving School District who was thinking about having a career in music and taking his career to the front row.
I decided to play the violin mostly because I like having a lead part in things. I like being kind of like the forefront of things. So I noticed that in a lot of music, violins have the melody, and they produce such beautiful melodies, so I thought it would just be logical to play the violin for someone like me. I did play football a couple years ago, and there were pretty long practices, about an hour or two, but playing the violin takes up a lot more of my time than any sport. I don't practice it every day, but whenever I do, it's for about 4 or 5 hours at a time. To all the people at MacArthur's, Miguel, and then practice a lot for next year, practice.
First, I need to say that Miguel, he has not had private lessons in violin. He learns everything from the school, from MacArthur High School, which is wonderful. They have an excellent teacher, an excellent orchestra program. but he doesn't receive any special thing outside private lessons. So that by itself is something to admire.
Well, we have a competition every year for Irving Independent School District students, but also any student that lives in Irving. And we've been doing this for quite some time. It's the Richard John Giulio Artistic Youth Concerto Competition. And so we have auditions in the spring, and then we select a winner. And they always perform with the orchestra and receive a $500 scholarship.
It actually surprises me that I started at my sophomore year in high school. Not a lot of people, well, they don't start until either their senior year or until they're in college. And I think that for my career path that I want to choose, it benefits me a lot to be recognized at this age.
The second thing is he plays with his heart. Yes, the technique is wonderful, but sometimes you have technique without the heart. He, I would say, is first the heart and then the technique.
We were really impressed with the emotion and the way that Miguel performed it.
Yes, there is a lot of work to it because you need to have every note perfectly in tune and perfectly articulated, and you have to play every note with some sort of meaning, not just a stale note. My future, I would like to do anything in music, but preferably I would really like to be a soloist, either that or a teacher of music.
He could love composing, he could love teaching, he could love being a performer, a soloist. He could do it. He could do it. Again, the potential is there.
Miguel Guzman, a name I hope that you will hear a lot more of in the future. For About Town, I'm Peter Arnell.
We're always excited to know when David Carr Jr. performs in Irving. And during 2013, he was a regular at the Blue Lounge at the Blue Fish Grill. We caught up with David and lots of his fans, and were reminded all over again why we love his music.
You know, I love you guys too. I appreciate you coming out. Good to see you. Welcome to the Blue Fish.
The Blue Fish is well known for great food, sushi, and cocktails, but on this particular Saturday evening, the main course was David Carr Jr. Carr's distinctive sound has carried him across the globe, but his very loyal local fans have followed him almost since the very beginning.
Do I have to do the math on that? 40 years. Started when I was 12.
No exaggeration. His fans know the story. David's first and greatest musical influence was his father.
My old man was a tenor player, blues player from back in the day, and I just remember listening to him kind of warm up practice and stuff at the house.
One day when the schedule was tight, he had to go with his father to one of his gigs.
I must have been 10 maybe, 11 at the most. And it tripped me. He walked out, took his horn out of the case, and walked up and just started killing. I got to do that.
His father recognized a kindred spirit.
And I never forgot it. I said, well, I'm in. And he could tell I was intrigued, so he spent a whole $20 and got me a horn. And I still have it.
From the start, David wanted to forge his own style.
I didn't want to be trained at it. I wanted to do its spontaneous thing, however it came. I didn't want it musically dictated to me.
When David is writing new music, he doesn't always look to traditional sources for inspiration.
You get your influences from everywhere. Like, I'm a gigantic Jimi Hendrix fan. So I'll put on some Hendrix. If I want to be musically inspired, I'll put in some Hendrix, or I'll go put in some Prince. You know, it's not just sax guys I listen to. I'll listen to anybody who changes the game.
Sometimes his sense of humor is a big influence on his music.
Old school.
This composition, a fan favorite, is called Suits. A friend had recommended him to perform at a corporate event.
And I get there and I set up, and these guys start coming. There's 300 or 400 people in this place. And it looked like the Matrix. I was like, it's all Agent Smith. So I went home and wrote this song called Suits, and it's a real popular jam. It's on the first album. You know, I went walking. I said, these boys need some funk in their lives.
Whatever the inspiration, there's a central core to all of David Carr Jr.'s music.
But the emotion is always there. I'm an emotional player, and that's what keeps me. That's what keeps me in it.
It keeps the fans in, too. This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
This year we bring you a first. One of our best stories of the year came from our youngest reporter, who brought us an exclusive report, Decorating Our City.
Everybody loves Christmas and Christmas decoration, and I've got a special job. I have to find out who did all this decorating. So I need an expert. This is my grandma. She knows lots of things.
Irving Community Television, can I help you?
And one time she read me a Christmas story. So I started thinking, maybe they're elves. Does that look like elves to you? Hi, I'm Renee Mendoza. Welcome to Decorating Our City. They work like elves. Kind of tall for an elf. This is better. What have you been doing at Centennial Park?
Well, we've been wrapping trees and getting it ready for Christmas time to light the trees, and we put displays out along the walking path.
That's a pretty big park. How big is your crew?
We have about 10 to 15 guys that help us wrap trees and put up fence lights.
Are any of them elves?
No, not that I know of, no.
I still don't think he's an elf, but there's a test. Gotta have a dance party.
I'm dancing.
This is my friend Joyce, and she's been working at Hergest Park. She said she had lots to do.
We've been adding lights, garland, bows to everything around here. We've got some figurines, the big tree behind me, and it's just beautiful.
And it took a lot of time.
And then it takes about 5 hours for 2 people to put the garland on all this 560 feet of split rail. And then after the garland's put on, then we put strings of light on it. And we probably went through about 20, 30 strands of lights.
These guys may not be elves, but I bet they can dance. These guys crack me up. Wow, look at Centennial Park.
Well, we put up over 100,000 lights, and that's little and the bigger lights, and we have 15 to 20 displays that we put out. We've been slowly transferring over to LEDs, which is more cost effective and more green for the environment. You use less wattage for the LEDs and then the incandescent bulb.
I hope you like decorating our city. Do you know what my favorite part is? When they turn on the lights. I'm Renee Mendoza.
That wraps up this edition of the Best of About Town 2013. Thanks for spending part of your holiday with us. From all of us at ICTN, we wish you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year.